I am in love with the Mgtow man. And if you are ever thinking, if you're a woman and you're thinking, I'm gonna be in love with this Mgtow and spend the rest of my life with him, well, buckle up, buttercup. What I have told him is that I'm gonna spend the rest of my life loving him the way he should be loved. Hi, welcome back to Feminism on Trial. I've thought a lot about making this particular video and wondered if I should do it. Is it too personal? Do you guys even care? But what happened was the inevitable. My fiance was in the manosphere, Googling or reading whatever it is that you guys look at, and he happened to come across one of my videos. And I don't even know which one it was. I mean, I suppose it was only a matter of time. If I'm doing my job and things are, my videos are getting shared, that he would run into it. And then I thought, okay, I wonder what I can search on Google. Like, I tried to Google myself to see how easy it would be for one of my videos to come up. Turns out not so easy. What I found, because I searched Mgtow, because I thought, well, what's the most unique thing possibly about the videos that I make? And I've been told it's that I'm a pro-Mgtow woman. So I kind of searched that. Well, that's not as rare as I actually thought it would be. And of course, they're being called, liars and fakes, etc. And I even started to think, they're probably not even pro-Mgtow. I thought, well, I don't want people to think that about me. So I thought maybe I should go into a little more detail of why I feel like I have a unique understanding of Mgtow and why I speak on the subject and why I am sympathetic and understanding of men going their own way. I am in love with the Mgtow man. I know that that's an impossible thing, because if he was a Mgtow man, if he were a Mgtow man, he would have gone his own way. Well, he had gone his own way. He was done. The last relationship he had, he expressed getting married without a state contract and maintaining separate residences and, legal residences, and doing everything that you can possibly do to protect yourself. We know that it doesn't matter at the end of the day. A woman can destroy a man with just an accusation, married or not. But she wasn't having any of it. She was basically like, oh, so, your ex-wife can have that, but you won't even give me the same thing that you gave your ex-wife, meaning like a real marriage, I guess. So he was done. And he was done dating. He was going to go and, live in a cabin he designed and, live out his life and, explore the woods and do man things on his own. And for some reason, I guess he lost his mind one day in a coffee shop, and he asked me if he could ask why I had a cane, as I walk with a cane. And I said, sure. I said, it's MS. And I quickly said, but don't worry, it's fine, I'm beating it. And he said, yeah, you have to live above your circumstances. And I thought, I like the way this guy thinks. You see, I was done too. Not that I had been dating at all anyway, but I was done for a very long time. I've explained in previous videos, like having MS, I did not think that anyone would be interested in a woman who had multiple sclerosis. And just the thought of dating and the work that goes into it just to get ready, it just wasn't worth it. And I'm pretty particular, and I'm pretty I'm kind of a weirdo. If you've seen any of my other videos, you've figured that out by now. And, you know, I was just never going to find, I had convinced myself that the man that I could love as passionately and deeply as I wanted that love to be, he just couldn't possibly exist. So just, you know, take care of myself and continue on. But I lost my mind too. And I sat down and we had a conversation, and, you know, he was straight to the point with questions, and I liked it. I was like, this is not small talk. This is, you know, actual questions, you know, actually being interested in the person. And it continued from there. Now, if you're still watching, which many of the Mgtow men have already said nope, and I get it, we kept talking, and he proceeded extremely cautiously, as did I, but I didn't understand. I didn't know what Mgtow was at the time. I didn't know he was proceeding cautiously, you know. I just knew what we had so far was very authentic. And by, you know, like the day after I met him, or a couple days after I met him, you know, we were texting about like how many people had we been with intimately in the past, and, you know, did I consider the man the head of the household? Did I consider him the head of the wife, etc.? And I said yes and yes. And I was like, wow, I can't believe these questions are that important to him to be saying them right now. What I didn't know is that other women would be like, what are these questions? I can't believe it. You're some kind of chauvinist, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't know, because I didn't have that dating experience myself. And I didn't know that I was such a weirdo to want to be asked those questions. Because, I mean, after I was diagnosed, I was engaged at the time I was diagnosed 22 years ago, and that relationship ended. And then I didn't date for, was it 12 years? And then I just kind of dated casually, no sex, nothing like that. And it was two guys, one from Match.com that I dated casually, and it was clear he was divorced. I look back now, I'm like, oh, he was Mgtow. He was a Mgtow that was just, you know, dating and kind of pumping and dumping. Not with me, because I don't do that, but probably with several other girls. And then the other one was somebody that I had known from high school, and we connected on Facebook, and I dated him for, I don't know, a couple months, and he ghosted me. And then I realized, looking back, oh, he was Mgtow too. He was also divorced, and there were accusations in the past, etc. So whether or not they knew, I mean, back then I realized that term didn't exist. But it doesn't mean that the concept didn't exist and that men weren't figuring out, this is not a safe area for me to commit or what have you. It says danger ahead. So commitment wasn't something that they were looking for. But my point is that there were two guys, you know, when I met my fiance, I had dated two guys in the past 16 years, and neither one were serious or very physical at all. So my experience was very little. I had no idea what other women were like. I didn't have girlfriends to talk to about that. And multiple sclerosis is very isolating. It's extremely isolating. So isolating, and it also protected me, I think, from all of that. I didn't know it then, but he was thinking, I like that she has MS because it may have tempered her. She may be different because of it. And that was very wise of him. And we proceeded. Now, you may say, oh, he's not a Mgtow. Oh, yeah, he is. And if you are ever thinking, if you're a woman and you're thinking, I'm gonna be in love with this Mgtow and spend the rest of my life with him, well, buckle up, buttercup. Because It is not a cakewalk. I wish he could trust me more, but I understand why he can't. And it isn't because of me. It's because of the history of domestic violence and accusations and just knowing what's true out there, knowing the dangers. And, you know, he's a Mgtow. He will not be alone with a woman without a recording device. He will not have a conversation on the phone with a woman without a recording device. Because he knows how they can destroy him with just their words, their accusations. And so there have been times when, you know, I did something that, you know, made him think, oh no, all women are like that. And one of which was getting into debt. And he says I didn't tell him. My side is I did, but I also know that I told him in such a way that I minimized it, and I just kind of said it in passing. And he's right. That was deceptive, and we almost broke up because of it. Certainly getting married, making our commitment and our covenant to one another was delayed. We still are not married. He is proceeding extremely cautiously, extremely slowly. It does not take much to spook him at all. Like I said, if you're thinking of, you know, falling in love with a Mgtow man, you better really love him. You better really love him, because he's been through it. He's been through the ringer, and you have to get that. You have to understand what that means and how dangerous the landscape is for men. And these guys know it. They know the risk they're taking. He knows. Everybody is always commenting on this page, on this YouTube channel, you know, well, it's going to be a common law marriage. It doesn't matter if you don't have a state contract. You can still, you know, take him for every, and I know, because I know all I'd have to do is, you know, tell a lawyer and tell a judge, and they would take my side. Why? Because I'm a woman. I'm still not going to get married by the state as a matter of principle. And when he first brought it up to me, I thought, oh, that's great. Because my feeling was always, why is government even involved in marriage in the first place? For me, it's between the people and God. So why, you know, why is a judge involved? Why are there contracts with the, you know, with the government involved? It made no sense to me. So it was refreshing. It must have shocked him when he brought it up, and I was like, yeah. Like I said, I'm a weirdo, but I guess, okay, this July will be 6 years since we met, and we've been engaged. There wasn't even a formal proposal. It was just a conversation, and you will note there's no engagement ring. Now, I'm a girl. Do I want one? Of course. And I want it. Why? Not because of what it's worth, which I know a lot of you guys won't believe. I just want it as a symbol. Like, you know, I'm taken. Yeah, I'm one of those pick me girls. So what? Just because I'm like that doesn't mean I'm saying everybody else needs to be like that. So if that offends you or triggers you, just back off, you know. Of course I want him to pick me. I think he's wonderful. He's the most intelligent person I've ever met. He's handsome. He's tall. Is he rich? That's what the men are thinking. No, he's not rich. Will he inherit some money? Yes. Will we be comfortable? Yes. Would I live with him in a cave? Yes. And the men won't believe that either, and I don't blame you. But what I have told him is that I'm going to spend the rest of my life loving him the way he should be loved. Being a wholesome, trustworthy non-parasite. My goal is to bring as much to the relationship as I possibly can. I do not want to just take, I want to give. I don't want to just be a parasite, as so many women these days have become. I don't just want to do that. I want to enhance his life and make it better and bring him peace. So that is why I will always defend and stand up for the Mgtow men, even though it's probably not wanted 9 out of 10 times. Because I get it. And these chicks that hate Mgtow and say this, who hurt you? You know what? I just want to slap those bitches. I just want to slap them and go, you did, bitch. Somebody like you hurt him, okay? How dare you? How dare you say, who hurt you? Like it's something trivial. They have been hurt. And it's real. And it's serious. And guys are killing themselves over, and they're losing their children, and they're losing their entire finances, everything they've worked for their whole lives. They're going back and living with their parents or living in their truck, which is what my man was doing after his divorce. He was living in his truck in the desert. So yeah, who hurt you? Feminists. Bitches like you who say, I'm not a feminist. It's better to have big red, because at least you can see her coming. At least you know it's not the devil in disguise. Unlike these other ones that are like, no, I would never do that. I would never do that. And then, woo, suddenly she's not happy or she's bored or whatever, and she does a 180. And she's like, the real one comes out. Suddenly it's a blue-haired feminist you didn't know was in there. So, I'm pro Mgtow, and I love my Mgtow man. Have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe.